you remember what the Melbourne crowd chanted at you at the NBL Cup?
I do. Overrated. It didn't bother me because it's, it's whatever. I don't really care what, the crowd's yelling at or anything. But it's cool to kind of get that recognition, because if you're hearing that stuff overrated, you're doing something right. So, to me, it doesn't bother me. I love that stuff. Especially on the road, when the crowd's booing you and stuff like that. That's when they're the environment I love for playing. And having the best defenders come at me every night. Justin Simon he gave me nightmares one time in Illawarra, and it's just fun because even if I had a horrible game, it's just fun to compete against those guys and hear it from the crowd, and it's the stuff I love doing. Someone fouled me, and the player went to the ref and called me the golden boy. And then I'm actually friends with the player, which is funny, but at the time, it was my first ever preseason game, and it was kind of good to hear from those older guys and have that target on my back from kind of day one.
I knew something. Let me tell you, I knew there was something special. I watched the under-18s, so I used to watch under-18s, and he was playing, and I went to one of his games, and he actually came off a pick and roll, and threw a left-handed. Now he's right-handed. He threw a left-handed dart, like from this side of the court to that corner, and hit this guy in his pocket for 3. And I'm sitting up there going, "That's different." You know what I mean? Like, you don't see that at that level. You know what I mean? And then when I got the call and Josh wants to work with you, and I'm like, absolutely, no doubt. He has a level of understanding of the game. Like, his basketball IQ is, again, for somebody his age, his basketball IQ is off the charts. His vision is unreal. Like, he's gonna be able to find people, and people gonna want to play with him. Like, people gonna love to play with this kid. You know what I mean? He's gonna make a lot of people a lot better.
I don't want to sound arrogant, but guys want to play with me because I'm going to get them the ball, where they want in the right spot, stuff like that. I'm a willing passer, unselfish. So the thing in the NBA is, they're all freak athletes. So you can kind of throw it anywhere around the ring and they'll go get it and dunk it. So that's the one thing I'm really excited for. There's so much room on the floor, and the help defenders have to come over more. I think it's going to allow me to hit guys in the half court. So I think that's going to be the big thing that I carry forward with me. And speaking of Joe, he's telling me they love the Australians. That's the Americans love having Australians kind of on the team and around the group. So I think that is what I can bring to a team. But also I'm a hard worker, do the little stuff, listen, coachable, all that kind of stuff as well. So I think there's a fair few things I could bring to a team.
He's up there. Like, he goes hard, man. Like, he pushes himself. He works hard. Every drill is game-like. And sometimes it's actually getting them out of here. You know what I mean? That's one of the big things, is getting them out of the gym. Get into your shot quick. So any double move here, straight into your jumper. Right? The NBL is one of the best leagues. We know that. It's one of the best leagues in the world. From what he's done in the NBL, right? I think getting over there, and again, it's no doubt, the NBA is a different level. But I think with the right opportunity, I think he'll be able to produce straight away.
Obviously Melo was Rookie of the Year, and to see his translation from the NBL to the NBA and how kind of seamless it was, it gives me a lot of confidence. I'm coming through the same path as they are through the Next Star program and then onto the NBA. So no, it does give me a lot of confidence going forward that the NBL has similarities and it kind of gets players ready for the NBA. So I was 17 when I got to Adelaide and going up against 35-year-olds. So I think it's playing against physical, older, veteran guys, learning from them. And that's what kind of fast-tracked my development. And then I was lucky I landed in a good situation where I had the ball in my hands from day one. They kind of let me run the team. So they gave me a good opportunity. The coaches, the front office, my teammates had confidence in me that they let me grow, let me make mistakes on the fly. So, they let me play and let me do my thing.
I watch a lot of the guards in the NBA. I'm a big Chris Paul fan and how he hits the mid-range shot, and the decisions a guy like LeBron does. Coming off those pick and rolls, and Rondo is another one. I watch him. I watch how he probes and things like that. And I think that's something. that he can do. And just his quickness, being able to get into that shot is the one thing I think he's improved on. I know he can come off a pick and roll and find people. Right, but when they start taking that away, you're gonna have to be able to get into that shot quicker because of the quickness of the NBA, because of the size of the NBA. He shoots the ball a lot better than people's gonna expect. He's not gonna surprise me. I don't think he's gonna surprise a lot of people, but he shoots the ball well.
big thing for me was my three-point shot. It was inconsistent this year, and it was it's a talking point that I know people have about me, and it's something I need to get better at. And that was my big focus coming into the offseason this year was kind of just honing in on that and getting better at it. And there's been improvements, but by no means is it where I want it to be, and still a long way to go with it. Obviously, the start of the season, I couldn't make a shot, and I was so down on confidence. I was worried about what people were saying about me and stuff like that. But once I got out of my own head and started just shooting it like every shot was going to go in, that's when things really started to turn for me. And coming into the off season, especially with Andrew Gaze, there's no one better to work with in terms of shooting. And it was all about confidence and just reps, and that's what we've been doing. Getting shots off the bounce, off the move.
I've been working with him for the last month, and again, I know he's been working with Andrew Gaze. He can shoot the ball. In the NBA, it's funny though, because they actually don't get under ball screens. They just lay off you. You get what I mean? They're not gonna do that. If they do that to him, I think he's gonna punish him. If y'all want to get under that, if y'all want to back off him, good luck with that. When you realize that he can shoot the ball, how are you gonna defend him?
The big thing I spoke with Joe about was three-point shot, because in the NBA, because there's so much space, if teams forced to respect your shot, they're going to chase over screens. It just opens the whole floor. And especially for me, being a pass-first point guard, if teams have to chase over screens, it's kind of going to open up everything else for me. So I think I'm a better shooter than what I showed. I think talking to Joe, that was the big thing, and that's what I'm doing this offseason is working on my threes. So
let's go. Pull-ups.
Growing up, my dad and Andrew Gaze coached me all through my juniors, and then Chris was my state coach in under 20s, but he's always been around. And then D-Mac's been my go-to guy in the off-season who I work out with. So to be around, such knowledge of the game and kind of experience is really good for me, because I can learn from them, not just on the course, off the court as well, that they give me advice and stuff like that. So it's good to be around such a kind of talented and knowledgeable group of guys, and it only benefits me. To be in the gym with Drewy is special, because he kind of shows you what he had to do to get to that level that he was at. And he was a flag bearer, so that's the highest honor you can get as an Australian sportsman. And I know how much pride he took in wearing the green and gold. So that's someone who's I've definitely looked up to for a long time, and whose legacy will live on for a long time. So I personally think playing for Australia is the pinnacle of basketball, and I think it's kind of the highest honor you can have. And for me, it's a lot of pride wearing the green and gold. And obviously, I've never done it at an Olympic campaign like those guys have, but I can promise them that every time the green and gold's on my chest, you're going to get everything out of me. And I'm sure it's the same for guys like Josh Green and Humphreys and all those younger kind of guys coming through. So, I think that the future's in good hands. A lot of guys who wear it take a lot of pride, and very proud to wear the green and gold. So I think there shouldn't be too many worries, because the next guys coming through love to play for the Boomers, and are excited for it and ready to kind of carry on the legacy that those guys are going to leave.
Mike, this kid his life is about to change, man. You're about to get drafted in the NBA. For a guy like him, some things you just can't teach. I think he has that. You know what I mean? You just can't teach some of the stuff he has. So giving him that chance and letting him prove it, he's willing to put in the time to work on his game. So he's gonna do all that. You know what I mean? It's just giving him the opportunity. Put the ball in his hands. Let him make decisions.
Being an NBA player, I've dreamt of for my whole life, ever since I've started playing basketball, and for it to be, kind of just around the corner, it's really exciting. There's so many stars in the NBA who I'm excited to play against. LeBron's the obvious one, because that's who I've grown up watching my whole life. But other guys like Luka, who's someone I've looked up to for a long time, or since he's been in the league. He's someone I'm definitely looking forward to play against. KD's another one I'm looking forward to. There's a lot. Steph. I guess once I'm out on the floor, I won't be that excited, because I'm actually out there. But once the game's over, I'm sure it'll kind of hit me that I just stepped on the same floor as some of the all-time greats.
As an 18-year-old, you're about to be one of the top picks in the draft. That almost speaks for itself. Go over there and do what you do. Like, we've seen what he can do here. They put you up there. Just go over there and improve it.
What's your confidence level like as far as being able to say, this is just a player in front of me?
Very confident. Hopefully, at the time I won't think anything of it, but I'm sure after something happens then I'll kind of process it. But hopefully on that time I get some help from the weak side or something. But yeah, I'll try to as best I can.